With all the losses they incurred early this season, they desperately need wins now, and they're going to get tough. Sunday, the Cowboys get the 8-2 Eagles at home. Thanksgiving, they get the Chiefs at home. Then to start December, they get the Lions on a Thursday in Detroit. Can they go on a run? Here's Troy Aikman.
They're better on defense. I mean, you put Quinnen Williams on your defense, you're going to be better. This defense is, if they just get to the middle of the pack, they can go out and they can compete against Philadelphia and Kansas City and Detroit in those games, regardless of where they're being played at. They could certainly get on a run. I mean, you got to look at they got to get to 10 wins is what you've got to look at, and they don't have any margin for error. So this was a game they obviously had to win, and they got to win next week against Philadelphia.
That's the one everyone will start taking them seriously. Look, you beat the Raiders on a Monday night, and people aren't going to make a very big deal out of it. But what did you say to us about the Cowboys and the Eagles this Sunday?
Don't let the Cowboys win that game because you know about the NFC East and weird things always happen.
It's unbelievable, bro.
2 years ago, the Eagles were 10-1, and it looked like it was over, and they were going to repeat as champions. And then weird stuff started happening. The Eagles lose to Arizona in like week 17 when Arizona's out of it. I'm telling you.
And I'm
don't
telling
let
you,
the Cowboys win that
Please don't
game.
let that happen again.
Let me show you some more history. That's one bit of history. Cindy, can we show them C8?
Ooh.
Here's some history. Dak
C8 with me.
Prescott is 21-2 at home in the division. That winning percentage is the best by any starting quarterback since the merger. He hasn't lost a home divisional game since 2017.
Dang.
He is 6-1 all time against the Eagles. Dominic Foxworth, do you believe?
I'm starting to believe. I want to believe because nothing will be funnier than if Dan gets the gloat. And also, Cowboys, us not having to manufacture reasons to talk about the Cowboys, let them really be good. That's what we all really want. Be competitive. And this team, I think what Troy said, he said it right. They can compete in these games.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, they could not compete in these games. Are they going to win all of them? No, but I expect that they will be in the game in the fourth quarter against all three of those teams coming up if this defense can continue to show like it did.
I think we start to ask the question, like we're saying, go and make a run. Are we saying that these Cowboys can be competitive in every game, or we're saying that they can make a run for a playoff spot?
Yes.
Like, are they in chase for a wild card? Because you look at it, the teams that are in front of them right now, you're talking about the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, the Detroit Lions. We're saying that they're going to jump all of these teams for a playoff spot right now when they're 4-5-1. I think they are much improved. They're going to compete. They're going to be in all of these games. I don't know if I'm ready to say that they got a shot at the playoffs.
Hey, common sense. We'll hold the line.
Someone's got to do it.
That's right.
Common sense would hold that somebody would have repeated as division champion at some point in the last 20 years. That's all I'm saying. Weird stuff.
Right.
Look, the defense only has to be okay. Like, it only has to be passable. The offense is elite. They can absolutely be competitive in these games that they have coming up.
And there's sneaky, huge news coming out of Philadelphia. Again, it's the Eagles and the Cowboys this weekend, and Philadelphia will play that game without right tackle Lane Johnson, who suffered a Liz Frank injury during Sunday's win over the Lions. It is not expected to be season-ending, but he could be headed to injured reserve. He's been an All-Pro each of the last 4 years, and the reality is, you don't usually hear this about right tackles, but when he plays, they win, and when he doesn't, they lose. Since Lane Johnson came in the league, the Eagles have won 66% of their games when he plays, and they're 9 games under 500 when he doesn't. Jeff Saturday, you're my offensive line expert. Just how significant a loss is this?
This is massive. And listen, in their run game, they'll find ways to adapt. You can kind of do those things. In the pass game, he's one of the few that I've ever seen at the right tackle position where you just put him on an island, you're like, go do you. And he just locks dudes. Go back and watch he and Hutchinson this past week. Like, his technique is insane, and I'll say this for quarterbacks. We always talk about the left side tackle, the blind side. The reality, though, is the right tackle provides a lot of shield because stuff doesn't flash in their face as much. When quarterbacks are dropping back, they don't have to, their eyes don't get taken away. When he's not there, it matters because guys get pushed into the pocket, get pushed into Jalen Hurts. All of a sudden, balls are errant. Bad things can happen. To me, I had the Eagles at 1 all year. I would actually say the Rams literally because of this injury.
When you hear Jeff saying that, that is relevant to the pass game. All we've talked about is whether A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, how is Jalen Hurts going to get these guys more involved so that they can be a prolific offense? Now you lose Lane Johnson, and you're talking about the protection part of it and things flashing in front of Jalen Hurts' face. That doesn't help me feel better about the Eagles and him finding ways to get the ball on the outside to his weapons.
So this is the part of the program where I, as the host, am contractually obligated to question a team that is the defending Super Bowl champion and currently the #1 seed in the NFC. But it is impossible to watch them play offense and not say something isn't right, and eventually it has to catch up to them. It just has to catch up to them.
The important framing for this conversation is that no one is saying the Eagles are not a very good team. They are. The standard is, can they win the Super Bowl again? Yeah. That's it. And with this offense right now, it's hard to imagine them going on the kind of playoff run that they went on last year. Can they get it together? Sure. They have champions in that locker room. They absolutely could galvanize and get it together in time. It's got to look different on offense than it does right now. It just has to.
What we fail to appreciate is that the most important and best player on that team last year was the offensive line.
Yeah.
That was the most impactful thing, and that has not been the same all year long. They lost some players, there have been injuries, and that as good as Saquon was, the reason why they were dominant was because that offensive line was incredible. You take away their best asset on offense, and it's not going to look the same. They haven't figured out how to have life after having a completely overpowering offensive line. And now the offensive line gets a little worse. You lose that one-man biker gang that is Lane Johnson playing at the right tackle, and it makes it a lot tougher. I think Jeff said you can go away from running the ball. You like that?
The smile on his face was unbearable.
I'm consumed by the statistic on the screen. They've scored 26 points in the last 2 games, their fewest in any 2-game span in 6 years. They won both of them against good teams. They won both of them against teams that you figure they will probably see in the playoffs. They beat the Packers and the Lions in these back-to-back games. So it's so hard. I feel like an idiot sitting up here saying, what's wrong with the Eagles? But the reality is something is wrong.
And that's the hard part, because we look at their record, but then when you dive into who the teams are, that they've already beat the Rams.
All of them.
Who Jeff just said is his favorite team in the NFC right now. Exactly. And I know the way they won that game, the block, I get it. But they found a way to win against very good football teams. So yes, the way they're doing it is not sustainable to a certain extent. But you also could argue if they continue to sustain and dominate the way they're doing it on defense, they don't have to score 25
Here's the thing that no one talks about, and you talked about it before when you talked about the Chiefs and Andy Reid. Nick Sirianni, 40-2. 40 wins, 2 losses when his team wins the turnover battle. Yeah. 40-2, bro. That ain't lucking into wins. 40-2. This team has morphed. We always talk about how do teams find ways to win. That's what makes a team excellent. The Eagles, okay, so their offense isn't as nearly as prolific as it was last year. Well, now our defense will hold 2 of the top, quote, offenses in the league, the Lions and the Packers, to under 10 a game. They're going to find ways to win. There's a reason that they've lost 3 of their last 27 games, y'all. It ain't by luck. It is by design. And if they don't turn the ball over, which means maybe it's not Jalen, A.J. Brown, and Devontae, but they do just enough, and the defense plays away.